Today we're going to be solving two-step inequalities. This may look a little familiar because this is actually the same board I used when we were solving one-step inequalities. All of your VICs are the same except for one minor addition. Let's go through them again. VIC number 1, your job is to get the variable by itself. Very good. VIC number 2, use inverse operations, addition and subtraction, multiplication and division. Here's the only part you need to add. You always, when solving two-step inequalities, want to undo the addition and subtraction first. So undo the addition and subtraction first. VIC number 3, follow the golden rule of algebra. The golden rule of algebra tells us if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. And finally, VIC number 4, you always want your variable on the left side of the inequality symbol when graphing. Always want your variable on the left. So if it's not on the left, reverse it or flip it. X is on the left, 5 is on the right. Greater than becomes less than. Let's get started. We're going to solve and graph these two-step inequalities. Remember, always undo addition or subtraction first. How do we undo a minus 3? We add 3 to both sides. Your 3's cancel. Bring down your 5m. It's greater than, what is 7 plus 3? 10. How do I get rid of 5 times m? Divide by 5, the inverse operation on both sides. Your 5's cancel and you're left with m is greater than 10 divided by 5 is 2. So our solution is m is greater than 2. Now, we're going to graph that. 2 goes in the center, 3 above it, 1 below it. Are we going to have an open circle or a closed circle? Well, we're going to have an open circle because it doesn't have equals to, and we're shading to the right. So an open circle on 2 to the right. What does that mean? That means that any number greater than 2, not including 2, but greater than 2 is a solution of this inequality. Number 2, 5 is greater than or equal to z divided by 3 plus 2. Let's get that variable z by itself. Subtract 2 from both sides. Your 2's cancel. 5 minus 2 is 3. Is greater than or equal to z over 3. How do we solve this one-step inequality? To get rid of divide by 3, we multiply by 3 on both sides. Your 3's cancel. 3 times 3 is 9. Is greater than or equal to z. You're left with 9 is greater than or equal to z, but something's wrong with that. We want the variable on the left-hand side, so we're going to flip it. Z and 9, and greater than or equal to is going to flip to less than or equal to. Now we're ready to graph. Let's put our 9 on the board, the number line, and 8, 9, 10. We know that's going to be a closed circle on 9, shaded to the left. That means that z can be any number that is less than or equal to 9. So any of the numbers to the left of 9, including 9, are a solution. Example number 3. Let's get x by itself. How do we get x by itself? We have to undo the addition or subtraction first. We want to get rid of that 8, that constant. We subtract 8 from both sides. Your 8's are going to cancel, so you're left with 0 is less than or equal to 4x. How do we get the x by itself? Well, we're going to divide by 4 on both sides because that's the inverse. Your 4's cancel. And what is 0 divided by 4? Well, that's just 0 is less than or equal to x. Again, we have a problem. We want that variable on the left-hand side, so let's flip it. X and 0 and less than or equal to becomes greater than or equal to. Let's graph this on our number line. 0 in the center, 1 to the right, negative 1 to the left. We know it's going to be a closed circle on 0, and we're going to shade to the right. That means that any number greater than or equal to 0 is a solution. So 0 on up is a solution. Finally, last example, number 4. Let's get a by itself. How do we get rid of a plus 1? We subtract 1 from both sides. Your 1's cancel. You're left with a over 6 is greater than 2 minus 1 is 1. How do we get a by itself? We do the inverse of divide by 6, which is times by 6. Your 6's cancel. You're left with a is greater than 6. Why do we not need to flip this? Well, we don't need to flip it because our variable is already on the left-hand side. 6 goes in the center. I know you saw that. It almost fell. I caught it. 7 to the right, 5 to the left. Are we going to have an open circle or a closed circle? Well, we're going to have an open circle because it does not have an equals to, and we're going to shade to the right. So open to the right. That means that any number greater than 6, not including 6 because it's an open circle, but any number greater than 6 is a solution. That is how we solve two-step inequalities.